We love hip hop.
You jumped in our comments the other day. Can we talk about that?
Sure.
Because we had a post talking about Toronto rap being dead. You disagree, sir?
Horrible take.
Why is that a horrible take? And what part of the take do you find horrible?
I was going to say respectfully, but not disrespectfully. Horrible take.
So give us.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, what part of the take was horrible? What did you not agree with?
All of it, actually. I can't think of one thing I agreed with. It was just all far from what I'm experiencing. I don't think it's dead. I think it's far from dead. I think there's a lot of artists in the city who are cooking, man. They're doing their fucking thing. Like Casper is doing 100,000 streams a day on the market.
Right.
Crazy. He's gonna do 7 figures this year. Watch. Pressa.
7 figures like views wise?
Fucking dollars.
Okay.
Yeah. Not loonies either.
Okay.
Pressa just dropped an album on a phenomenal press run.
Okay, see, and that's why I feel like you're just like
this guy's trying to get us packed.
Which we'll touch on.
Okay,
also.
continue.
We'll
I'll let you say your points. Go on.
Northside Benji just did a sold out tour through Canada. Dropped a phenomenal album. Just got nominated for a fucking Juno Album of the Year. Shout out Benji. Biggest Eagle. Sav added to Rolling Loud. Love to see it. Sav's cooking. You know what I'm saying? Look at all the little things that are. Let me rephrase that. Look at all of the different pockets in the city that are cooking, even separately, not together. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
All right, okay, can I touch on this?
So for me, I would say it's just to finish my thought.
Go for it.
I would say it's far from dead based on that. I mean, I don't know what you're measuring it as dead, but I would argue it's far from that. I would argue that the main issue Toronto's having right now is live shows. That's where we're hitting a brick wall. You know what I'm saying? You actually said, I don't want to misquote you.
The consumers of culture, we're not good consumers of culture?
Yeah. Horrible take also.
But you said we're having a problem with live shows. If we were good consumers of culture, we would have live shows every week.
That's not what I'm talking about. I hear what you're saying. But what I mean by that is where we're having issues is, and I'll bring it back to Pressa. You know how many shows got canceled? When I did Northside Benji's show in Toronto, we sold out both nights. We did 1,400 tickets. Salute the biggest Eagle.
Yeah.
Fuck you mean we're dead.
It's difficult to
but what I'm trying to say is that we had to go through 6 different venues to get to that. Right? Because the second you announce the show, they receive police pressure.
It's
saying,
difficult.
No, you can't do this. It's the issue.
It's difficult to want to put on a show for these artists when mans have viral videos of having like 50 straps in the studios. Like, are those not rappers? Like, those, or
I hear you. But I would argue every major city has ops. They have problems. They have, all kinds of that bad mind shit going on, right? Like New Orleans, New York, Atlanta, LA. Like they all have the same kind of issues, but the shows are still happening, right? But the police are shutting the shows down. That's in my humble opinion. That's what I'm seeing. What the real issue is. It's not a lack of support because the streaming numbers are there, but as soon as we announce the fucking show, the police are pressing them. And for me, it's not about like harping on what the problem is. Like it's about identifying the problem quickly and now what's the solution, right?
Yeah, but you don't think
let's figure that out.
That with the amount that you even just named, which is they're all doing great, it's pales in comparison to the amount that we're doing great, let's say like even like 9 years ago, 8 years ago.
It was a different time. The game's evolved. You're talking like 2017, 2016.
Yeah, you named 5 people, and part of our argument or part of our what we were saying is that there used to be like 15, 20 people.
I could keep going.
And the people that you named respectfully, okay, you said Pressa dropped the album. I haven't really heard that album anywhere. I haven't really seen, you say he's on a press run. I haven't really seen the run that he's been on. You said
he done a lot of interviews.
Go tap in then, bro. Go tap in. Pressa's the fucking...
Bro, sorry, put me onto an interview. The man got 25 views in 19 hours.
Okay.
How am I
but we boosted the... It has more now. It has more.
You said Sam. Shout out to Sam.
No, listen. You guys want to talk about that now? I was going to say...
Okay, let me just finish my thing. I'll let you... Okay, you said Sam was on Rolling Loud. Shout out to that. But like, his name is so... Bro, I have to like zoom in to see broski. You know what I mean? And there's one Toronto man on the Rolling Loud.
Two. Sarissa.
This is We Love Hip Hop, right?
Yeah.
Not We Hate Hip Hop.
No, we love hip hop.
Because it sounds like a lot of hating, to be honest.
It's not hating.
Even what you just said, you're not giving the whole context, right?
I could be honest.
Okay, listen. The Pressa shit, that little interview that he did during his massive press run, it was on some page that's not his, that he didn't even promote, bro. It doesn't even like, let's give it some context. It's like, it's like, what is it? Like fucking, you're test driving a Ferrari in a parking lot and you're saying it's not fast enough, bro.
So like,
you know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Give the whole context.
If he's on an amazing press run, why is he not promoting it?
Pressa is the biggest street artist to come out of Toronto, I would argue. Right? Is that a fair statement?
He's one of our biggest underground exports for sure, yeah.
So yo, at We Love Hip Hop, why we supporting that?
We support Pressa.
Okay.
But I feel like you want just like blind support and like we can't be critical at all or else we're hating. And I think that's the problem with not just the Toronto scene, but Toronto artists is that the moment we're critical, they're like, you guys are the reason why the Toronto scene is where it's at. It's like, no, our biggest artist getting 25 views in 19 hours is atrocious, brother. We should want more for our biggest artist. Don't you want him to get more than 25 views in 19 hours? Or you think that's cool?
Bro, it's on some page.
That's fine. If Drake went on a random page, you think that would happen? If a big artist went on any page, it'll turn up that page. It'll have 30,000 subscribers tomorrow, brother.
You guys are focused on all the wrong shit. Man.
How?
All the wrong shit. Where's Pressa from?
From Toronto.
Where?
Driftwood.
Would you argue that's probably the worst neighborhood in Canada? Is that a fair statement?
One of them, yeah.
Right?
I'd argue.
Okay. It's one of the worst neighborhoods in Canada. Okay. That's a fair statement. His dad gets a body when he's a kid. His older brother's caught up in Project Marvel, which was like legendary. Okay. He gets his own legal problem. So despite all of those things, this motherfucker leaves the city, goes on tour with Drake, moves to LA. He's on TMZ. He's moving around. He's running around with 50 Cent. Like, let's focus on the important stuff.
That's one guy.
We already know that, though,
let's focus on the important stuff. To me, it sounded like Pressa ain't tapping in with y'all, and that's the real problem.
No.
Because but I'm saying like he's not tapping in and doing the show with y'all because both times it came up, y'all were like at the end of that run, you were like, yeah, and he didn't tap in.
That's not true because I'm not complaining about a Pressa interview. I have 3 of them. I'm not one to come. I'm not like, yo, Pressa never pulled up. We have 3 Pressa interviews, so it's not like he never pulled up.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm never complained about Pressa not pulling up on the network. Even on this run, we've said that he should maybe pull up because it would have given more views. But it's not because it's like, yo, Pressa, like, why ain't you pulling up on us, fam? We literally, like I said, have 3 of them, fam. That's more than mad people, fam.
No. You know what? I'm going to say that because you expect us to just support the Toronto artists. Do the Toronto artists support us in that same way? Are they running to We Love Hip Hop right away? Or are they going on random
platforms? Are you even
platforms?
calling in?
It's prioritizing your base, which actually supported you from the beginning. And he's free to do whatever he wants. He doesn't have to do a We Love Hip Hop interview. And honestly, like We Love Hip Hop, we don't need to do a Pressa interview. We do our own thing too. But it would be a good move, like for both parties. You know what I'm saying? Because our algorithm is tapped into his music more than the American algorithm. But that video that did the 25 views, it got really a lot of views on Instagram. It wasn't even meant for YouTube. So like, I'm not even like harping on that. But to me,
not on his page, and he didn't post it, right?
Yeah. So let
me context. And context is important.
And I never said, oh, he's washed because of that. Ray Tay Tay. Just like, bro, focus on your base. It's kind of like, don't not do the American platforms, but also do the Toronto platform. Not even just We Love Hip Hop. Go on GTV. Go on Extra Gravy. That was my point. You know, it wasn't that.
I mean, he is doing a fucking legendary American run right now.
He's doing good.
He's running around. This is the thing. He's doing all the big platforms, big streamers. Like, he's doing a little bit of everything.
Using words like, oh, phenomenal and legendary and stuff. And I feel like blowing smoke up these artists is what's ruining the scene because Maz is walking around like they gods. You know, and then Wes looking at them like, yo, you're not that, bro.
And
Pressa's made Pressa's made millions off of music, bro.
Hold on, Lucas, before you go. Let me add on to that. When you say like legendary and things, and I'm not saying that it's not good, doing great, but when you say those big words, it makes us look like haters when we're like, I don't know, maybe bring it down a little bit. When we're not being haters, we're just
raising the bar. We're raising the bar.
Y'all talking about the wrong shit.
Listen, all of those different things
you're
that
talking
you
about
spoke about.
Random video, bro. Like, why are we even talking about
that? But we
bigged
up his album as well.
Corny. Put an echo on my voice. Corny.
No.
Nah, you know what's corny? You know what's corny?
That's corny.
You know what's
bro?
corny?
That's
Us
corny.
just like recalling his story that we already know and not focusing on what he just did in the last day or week. Like, we're supposed to talk about relevant current issues. We're not just gonna be like, you know what? Pressa really came up from these ends and this, that, his story. Next week we say the same thing. It's like, bro, we keep up with the artist, so we can't just like, I agree that we should highlight their wins,
which we do,
which we always do,
hip-hop.
and they never say anything. They don't care. They only care when we criticize them.
Why aren't we seeing those wins? Why aren't we seeing that?
They barely win.
They never share it.
Being honest, they
don't share it.
They lose more than they win, though. But for being honest,
I mean, hey,
I wouldn't say they lose more than they win.
Y'all are the podcasters. Y'all are the journalists. This is your shit, right?
No.
I'm not a journalist.
Not journalists.
Not journalists. Okay, podcasts.
We just give our
we're like
opinions.
commentators.
Is there a scenario where like you're tapping in with these artists if they're out of town and then you're doing a live interview with them and you're saying, hey, we're gonna do a piece on this and let's do a collab post afterwards, and then everybody gets to fucking see it? I don't know. Is that happening? Are y'all doing that? Like, did y'all reach out and be like, yo, let's do a collab post. We're gonna big up the album.
I've reached out to Pressa. Well, from Burrow Sound page, he never said anything. The only time he's ever said anything is when he's like, this guy's ruining the network because I pointed out that video. But then we spoke after. So
that was a terrible take, though. It wasn't a horrible take.
I mean, I feel like it was a powerful take.
You're still standing on that one?
What?
On
what was my take? My take was that he got 25 views in 19 hours. That's not a take.
On a page that's not even fucking his, bro. You sound crazy.
Yeah, but I feel
crazy.
like,
it sounds like
your name should still carry more weight from a YouTube algorithmic perspective.
Yes, because we can listen. This segment alone, I can title it Pressa Debate on whatever happens on the podcast, and it'll do more views than that clip that Press is actually on.
But it's because the channel isn't big, and he did get, I think, the most views on that channel. So like, big up Pressa for that. You know what I'm saying? It still looks crazy to me.
But how's that a legendary run?
Well, he's doing other things. You know what I'm saying? But even your artist,
y'all are haters, bro. Y'all sound like haters.
Don't you care about views for your artist? If your artist got 25 views in 19 hours, and you're like, yo, what's going on here? We deserve more.
I wouldn't even, there's so much going on. I wouldn't even notice that.
You wouldn't notice it.
No.
So why did he notice when I said
in
it?
the mix of 20, because
why would he even care what I have to say?
We love hip hop. That's why. But you guys matter.
It's not we glaze hip hop.
So we do matter.
Glaze, bro.
This is the thing.
What do you even? What?
Because I love hip hop and
because
I love
you're
this
showing
city.
love to our top fucking export
because I
street
love
rapper. That's
love.
Glaze.
We do show love, but
Okay,
they only
continue doing that.
only hear it when we're critical.
But we can't just show blind love. Like we also have to show like critical thought when it's needed, bro. Like
because
we can't
we
just
love
like glaze, bro.
Because we love the city, we have to be critical and we want to see mans do the best, bro. Like, okay, Press is doing good, but if you compare him to like, he'll be like a D tier American nigga. He'll be like in the G League.
Bro,
if you're
you're dissing. You're dissing. You sound like a hater, bro.
How's that a hater?
You sound like a hater,
if we're talking about like,
bro, why is that hate though?
That's not because it's not true. You have a.
So what tier? What tier would you put Pressa in America? In America, what like he said G tier, right?
Bro.
There's A-list, B-list, C-list. Where are you putting Pressa in America?
Or let's not even just keep it on Pressa. Let's put it on just any of the level that's at this underground level.
Because it's such a lively.
You guys
scene,
are so
man.
out of touch. It's crazy. Like y'all sound like a 14-year-old in a comment section that never left your house. You guys are not outside.
No, this Lucas. You just came back to Canada. We're outside all the time. We hear what's being played and what's not being played, bro. So it's like you can't say that we're out of touch. We don't hear Pressa outside.
We're DJs, bro.
We're DJs. We DJ for proms. We DJ for people who are younger. We DJ for clubs. We DJ for weddings, a wide range. So it's like we hear what the kids are requesting in terms of Toronto music, right? So it's not like we're coming from like a biased perspective. Like we want to play what the people want to hear. It's just what the people want to hear isn't Toronto music right now, bro. You listed four, like most of them were legacy acts and Sav. You know what I'm saying? Casper been in the game for a minute. Benji been in the game for a minute. Pressa been in. So we're talking about the current rap scene as it is like 2026. These guys built their legacy from 10 years ago. They put in the groundwork. They put in the pain. They have the cosigns and stuff, right? But we're talking about today, besides Sav, and like in terms of the newer generation, like how is the Toronto rap scene alive? We have talent, yes, but it's not being requested. People aren't listening to that. They might be listening to LTL with the dancehall stuff.
Shout out LTL.
You know, they're killing it. You know, Juno nomination as well.
That's not rap.
But in terms of rap, bro, we're not hearing that.
And I ask these guys every week, or not every week, but like every few weeks, I always do kind of like a little litmus test. Like, yo, so what, you guys played here? Okay, well, so did they ask for any Toronto music? Don't you guys always see me asking that question over and over again? It's because I want to know what the youth them want to hear from us.
Yeah, and the only request you'll hear from, at least from a prom perspective, is Sav. And, you know, they might, sometimes you might get a proms? Canada Goose. Bro, proms, that's, like, I don't know why you're dissing it. That's really what the youth are listening to. That's the people who are like shaping what's popular.
Come on, fam. You know this, bro. You know you
This
want
guy's
to have
looking at
all
like,
of those.
yo, you DJ proms. You guys don't know.
He doesn't rate. He doesn't rate you, bro.
He doesn't rate
Fam,
it.
that's
doesn't rate
literally
it.
I don't rate none
where
of
the
it.
demo
I don't
would
rate the whole
be.
conversation, to be honest with you.
You guys, fam, you're telling me that at a prom wouldn't be a good litmus test to see what the Toronto scene is saying, fam?
Or what the
They're
kids are
literally the
listening
new
to.
generation that's listening to these guys, fam. So they'll express that they're listening to them on Reddit, but then when they go to the prom, they don't want to hear it. So not the same ones.
Respectfully, okay.
So
You
what
didn't
would be the
let's
list?
You
say
know what I
clubs.
mean?
Let's
Like,
say
what-
clubs.
But they do
No,
play
y'all
clubs.
start some weird
forget
shit.
the proms, clubs, bars. Like we can move it to there. It's gonna be the same results, bro. Like people aren't
don't-
really requesting.
And also, like, don't look at man's like low niggas and shit. Because, like, respect, you've done big stuff, but like we've all done big stuff as well. Like, I'm tapped into artists in the dancehall scene that like international artists that actually respond to niggas. Toronto mans in my own city don't even want to fuck with me, bro. A lot of these mans have more followers than and shit, you know? And like, it's just like it has to be a two-way street. I'm not gonna come here just like glazing niggas who like don't even care for me and stuff. I'm gonna say how it is. If I'm seeing on road their stuff is not moving like that, I'm just not gonna like lie.
So who's listening? Where are these streams coming from? Oh, like nobody's listening? Is that
no,
because
people
you
are
didn't get-
listening.
I never said no one's
The streams
listening.
are going crazy, bro. Like
And you're saying the majority of
Like,
the streams
Pressa-
are from the
Pressa-
city.
Pressa dropped the album. What was it? 6 weeks ago?
Mhm.
To 6 million streams. Just
Okay.
on Spotify alone.
Did they touch Billboard or anything though?
Even if it didn't, like
So
I would
I'm-
want to know the
I'm saying, like,
distribution.
yo,
I would want to know
what
like the
numbers, fam?
demographics, like what
You know what I'm
parts.
saying?
Because if it's majority Toronto, it could be Ontario, different parts of Ontario. I don't know the demographics, so I can't really make a comment on that. But I know when I'm outside, I don't hear Pressa. And it could be more of a political thing too, right? Like there are certain DJs or like certain areas that they might not
That's a
play
big
certain
problem.
things, you know, and that's a part of it, you know. But I will hear the market. I will hear Sav. You know what I'm saying? And like I want to hear Pressa, bro. I rock with Pressa. So it's like
All right.
I don't want you to seem like, oh,
And
like
you
this
still
guy's a hater.
you still do get requests for Pressa, like
Old
like
tracks, Canada Goose.
Canada Goose, attachments. I'm sure people are like, yo,
Mostly Canada Goose.
yeah. So,
I would argue the biggest problem, as I said earlier, is shows. Right?
Mhm.
I would argue that there's probably somewhere between 10 to 20 artists from Toronto that can sell 500 tickets right now.
even
agree.
more.
Right? Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Okay?
does-
We're talking about 500 tickets. Not crazy, but
That's
500
good
tickets.
enough. That's
Would
good
you
enough.
say? Would you say there's between 10 to 20 artists that can do that? Is that
so
a fair
enough
statement?
DJs out here could do that.
I'm asking you a question.
For sure.
Is
Okay,
that- is that
Ronnie's
fair?
Black of the Dawn.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe it's 20. I don't know. Let's 10's easy math,
Yeah.
right? So yo, my perspective is there's millions being left on the table right now. Okay?
Yes.
Because one 500 cap room, that's 15K. Right? You do 2 of those a year, that's 30K per artist. That's another 300K right there.
Mhm.
Now their streaming numbers are way up. Now they're putting on other artists to open up. And now the scene is growing and being stronger. And now
Mhm.
there's more of a show culture, which we're missing.
There's an economy.
And it's not
Yeah.
because it's not fucking popping. It's because police shut the fucking shows down.
Mhm.
That's my fucking perspective. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah.
I feel like a
As-
lot of people would agree with that.
Yeah.
You know what
Yes,
I'm saying?
and-
It's not, this, that, and the third. It's yo, the problem is as soon as the show gets announced, police contact the venue, they give them pressure and they cancel it. You know what I'm
And
saying?
you know what it is?
So yo, hold on. Let me just get
Mhm.
to let me get to the math on it, right? So that's 300 just in show money. Okay?
300
Now-
what?
300K.
Based
For
on
who?
10 artists.
Doing 2 shows.
Doing 2 shows a year, 500 cap.
15K.
That's $300,000 extra right there, just from 10 artists. Okay, let me finish the equation real quick.
Okay. $300,000 for 10 artists so far.
In shows.
Okay.
Okay, now their streams are up. Now their distro bag goes from 50K for an album to fucking 150K. Now they're putting on more artists. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Now the merch, bro, we're already at 2 million.
Okay.
Just off of 10 artists, we're at $2 million in,
How did we
in
get
money
to
that's left on the
300,000?
table, bro.
From the
That's
increase.
$2 million left on the fucking table just because we're not doing these shows. And it's not from a lack of fans or a lack of support.
Yeah.
In my experience, like you say, like, oh, it's dead. Bro, we announced Benji's show. We sold 700 tickets unannounced.
No, you're making a good point when it comes to the shows, but it's
For me,
also
I'm focused on the bread, bro. Let's get to the bag.
And we're going to get to our topics in a second. Part of the reason why it's so hard to do the shows is because of the double-edged sword of the scene while it was growing. It was growing in a way where the content that in the music was not too street, because street is cool. It got too oppy over time. So now all of these different artists that were growing as far as their visibility, their streams and everything like that, also had a set of problems that were growing with them too. So now the cops are tapping into all of this shit through 2018 to now.
That's a
they're
fact.
freaking
They're
literally
reading YouTube comments, bro. They're in
going
there.
through the YouTube comments. So now all of these guys who've gained success with their fan base can't perform to them because the police are like, their music's problematic. And it's not because they're not making good music and they're not making, everybody's allowed to make street music. It's too fucking specific. Everybody's like, this person K, that person K, they're throwing down signs, doing all kind of smoking on this. And then it's like, they can't get shows. Well, you can't.
I have a question. The ops are in Toronto, right? So like, how come they can't just do shows other places? If their streaming numbers are so high, it can't all just be from Toronto. Like, shouldn't they be able to do shows in other places?
I've actually been preaching that I think as a Toronto artist, I think Toronto artists, I think they should focus outside of the city. You know because also, I mean, a lot of artists have moved around and cooked and gone to other countries and, you know, and moved around and had a lot of success. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll use Benji as an example. He went to the UK. He did Fire in the Booth, bodied it.
Legendary.
Right? And linked up with bare big artists, Pressa, linked up with Gigs. The landlord himself, salute Gigs. You know what I'm saying? They're both guys down there. You know, and then I would argue elevated the support they got at home too. Because at the end of the day, if you're fucking a Toronto artist that's never left Toronto and you're in the same fucking clubs every weekend, right? I'm gonna sound crazy saying you're up next. Because it's like, I just seen his ass at the grocery store.
It's like an echo chamber.
I see him at the same fucking club every he ain't special. Like you like me, I'm with him. We're the same spot, right? It don't feel like, oh, that's the guy, he's up next. But the second an artist goes and does anything in another major music market, with New York or Paris or London or LA, even if they're opening for another artist, they fucking paid to be there. They paid to open, or they're in a studio session with so-and-so. That's when the city's like, that's our guy. Yes. And if you reverse engineer all the artists that have had success, that is the case. Who the fuck stayed? Right? And that's not to say, like, to hate on it, but at the end of the day, like, when you're moving around and you're in a different fucking country and you're making noise, you get people's attention back home. It's like, hell yeah, that's our guy, right?
I hear that.
Right.
But I feel like in 2016, 2017, when we had that wave, like, everyone was here and they didn't go anywhere. They were just popping here because, like, the audience cared more. You know, like, and then they went because they had the buzz.
Listen, I will concede and say that 2016, 2017 was a special time.
Yeah.
I will concede and say that. I would argue that, it was a special time. Remember when Robin Banks would just drop a video out of the blue and do a fucking million views in a month in 2017? That was an interesting time, man.
Yeah, but
salute Robin.
The show problem was still there.
It was there. I actually did Robin Banks' first and only show he ever did. And it got fucking canceled 24 hours because of the venue. I moved it to the Mod Club, slept with my dog George, who was GM them times. He let us slide in and I had to pay the pay duties. It was $2,500 for 3 police officers.
Jesus Christ.
What?
You know what my profit margin was in that show? About $2,700.
So
you know what I mean? So I made my 2 fucking bills. I made a hot meal off that. But it was dope to do it and it was legendary. And we sold it at the Mod Club and it was lit.
But that's the thing, like, see, you're willing to do that. And like, even if like, okay, you don't make money if you break even or whatever, you're willing to do that to build up your brand or your business or whatever. I feel like a lot of these artists are not really willing to invest in themselves. You know what I mean? Like, they're not willing to get the venues that would have maybe the proper security protocol and everything that would like.
I hear you. Shows, in my experience, that hasn't been the case. In my experience, it's actually been like, yo, you link up with a dope promoter or you're dealing with the fucking venue directly. And then police. Okay, make that call as soon as it's announced. You better pull that down. We're coming to check that liquor. You know what I mean? They start, ooh, and the guys are like, yo, I'm out. And I've been fortunate. I've worked with a few agencies where they own a couple of the clubs. And when they get that call, they're like, bitch, you don't fucking pay my bills. You can't tell me to fucking close. You can't do it. And they do the show. And that's why there's you see those shows popping up in Winnipeg and in Calgary and Vancouver. They get the same police pressure. However, there's a couple of, like there's some venues out there that are owned by one particular guy who's like, you don't pay my bills. You can't tell me to close this down. And he goes and he does his thing and he makes sure that, that security is on their job and it's all good.
It's all about the connection.
You know what I'm saying?
But even the artists, right? Like, let's say the police stop pressuring these venues and we're allowed to throw shows in the city, right? Don't you feel like some of the artists are also hyper aware that their ops are going to get the drop? They can buy tickets and like it's a safety issue too. Even if you have security, it's like, bro, mans are this guy's your enemy and you know exactly he's going to be performing at 9 p.m. here at this location.
That's
Like
true.
someone could get hit and that's not the police's fault. That falls on either the artist or more of the environment.
Yeah.
And then we can look at the context there. But like, I don't think this is just like an isolated, like, oh, the artists are victims and it's the police that are ruining it. It's like, no, they're aware that there's polys. And like a lot of people would rather do shows OT to avoid like the internal polys.
Yeah. You're making a good point for sure.
Yeah. And even to add on to what you're saying, like, I've heard Roadrunner say back in the day, I don't even know if it was on camera, but he said, it was on camera. It was on like a clubhouse or something. He's like, I ain't risking my head back for freaking $1,500 to do a show. And in my mind, I'm like, $1,500 to do a show is pretty good money. But in his perspective,
Not to lose your life over it.
not to lose your life.
Because he knows for sure someone's going to try something.
Yes.
You know, like,
I mean, hey, if you are doing a show, you got to move like presidential with it. You got to have personal security. You got to have venue security. You got to pay for those paid duties, which paid duties when you pay the police. And they come and you got to have 3. You know, you can't just order 1.
Yeah.
You got to order the 2 with the sergeant. It's $2,500.
Yeah, but for him
bullshit.
personally, the $1,500 that he's getting paid, and let's say he breaks off another like
not worth the
$500
risk.
to security.
It's not worth the risk.
His homies, bringing extra few homies, convoys of cars. Like, bro, that $1,500 is gone, fam.
Well, $1,500, it's not a lot of money, right? But we're talking about
And it's a lot of money if you're at Fresco.
We're talking about selling 500 tickets, which is 15 bands, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. So, okay, so now there's a budget for security.
And to be honest, he might have said 15,000. To be honest,
I would argue he probably said 15,000. Because that's 500 tickets at $30, right?
But when I heard it, I was like, fam, you would say no, but it's still not worth his life.
Okay, but I want to, with that math, because are you not paying the venue? Are you not paying security? Are you not paying, like, it's not $15,000 profit.
Okay.
So that, and then you said it was like 300,000 for like 10 artists. But like,
because we said 20, so I brought it down to 10.
Yeah, but like
my point is, brother, is that there is millions of dollars being left on the table. That's the point. Let's focus on the point. We can nickel and dime my math.
No, it's not nickel and dime.
Because the math is actually good if you want to break it down. But
it's okay. How much are you getting this venue for? Like how much? Because you already said
security.
You already said the police was 2,500.
Yeah.
So that 1,500 is down to like 13,500.
Yeah.
You know that 12,50
for sure.
And then like a security, you have like 10 bands.
It's a couple bands for all those things.
But then you can sell shirts and stuff.
But
and
I didn't mention merch or alcohol sales or any of those things, and that's based on a $30 ticket price. Some guys are going to sell a lot more than 500 tickets. Like Benji had 1,400.
A couple.
Benji had 1,400 walk.
There's a lot of these guys that their audience is not. They've never gotten to see them. Like the Crook, he can go do a 1,500 person venue. In this city. Because nobody's ever gotten to see him live.
I think Press could do history.
Press could do
definitely.
Lights
out.
out.
I'm saying there's only a handful of guys that could do that. I don't think there's 30 niggas that could get 1,000 people in a venue.
Okay, but we agreed that around 20 could do 500 tickets, right? And that's the heart of my point, is that there's millions being left on the table. And I'm trying to identify what that problem is, which I believe
a lot of it is live shows.
Okay, but here's a fucking other point though, right? Like I said earlier, every city has their issues with ops and all this bullshit back and forth, right? So it's like they still do shows.
In their city, I feel like they're able to
they still show. Like Florida, they still do shows.
Now, didn't Chef G try to do Hot 97 and the police stopped that and all that stuff?
Yes, but he still gets to do shows in the city. He'll get a small Brooklyn
he
venue.
got to a certain point where like
his security and stuff was like
proper. I feel like he got lit enough to do that, you know?
Like the thing is, the venues will still take the chance in America, and America has a way more capitalistic mindset where they're like, yeah, that person, he got ops or whatever, but Julio Fulio was getting booked to do shows. And he's got music videos
with choppers.
Not even just choppers, he's laying on people's grave sites.
Okay, so like what's the solution for the show problem?
I don't know.
I think it's a conversation with the police, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's what it is. You know, like I had to go to 52 Division before to do that show I mentioned earlier with Banks to get that done. And like maybe there's a longer conversation needs to happen there.
Who has to have this conversation?
I'm down.
Promoters.
I'm down to sit down and talk because safety is a priority. You know what I'm saying? Like not only just for us I'm working with, but everybody who's in this community, man.
Yeah.
Like, let's all make this money. You know
I'll say this and we'll close this because we got to get to some of our topics. Or we've been going on this for almost an hour here. Maybe like you see how in New York they had that picture with Eric Adams when he was the mayor at the time. And then they had a bunch of different representatives, Jim Jones, all these different people. It was when the drill scene was like under pressure, right?
Yeah.
Maybe something like Lucas and a few other managers and a few like big artists and some representatives from the city and the boy them and Chow can sit there and have a meeting.
Sounds like a dream, but yeah,
it sounds like a pipe dream.
If
but
Drake couldn't get obsolete, Drake couldn't get obsolete together, then Olivia Chow ain't gonna do it.
I'm just trying to put out some solution. I'm brainstorming.
But we also have to keep in mind, like, these guys have donors and stuff, right? And like, no diss to some of the rappers, but like, if you are affiliated with someone who is like a convicted criminal of certain things, you're associated with that, right? Like, from a political perspective, even though it's lit for us on like a grassroots level, like, I don't think they would do that move. However, we did see Bizloke on CBC recently.
Yes.
So I feel like that's like a step in the right direction where
Salute
we're
Bizloke.
able to like kind of forge a relationship between like the streets and like the politic corporate area.
Yeah, and like I said, so we'll close this. I started off with saying New York did it. So if New York was able to do it, and those same people have investors and donors and all that too, then maybe those people can look above that over here and we can get some kind of bridging of the gap. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out these other videos on the screen and make sure to like and subscribe.
We love hip hop.